Winter may be here, but those memories of summertime fun at the car shows and cruise nights linger on. For those of you who dream about warm summer nights, burgers at the A&W and hanging out with friends at the shows, I hope this puts a little spark in your engine. It's the first in a series of videos and interviews spotlighting members of our own classic car and hot rod community. Bob Clark and his wife Jan are owners of this beautiful 1933 Chevy 5-window coupe. They've owned this beauty for a lot of years. Like every classic car and hot rod, there's a story behind it. Bob tells us how he acquired his car.
I used to live in Woodstock, and it belonged to one of my neighbors. And he had it in his garage. I'd go down and help him work on it. We went there, and we built a new frame for it, put the suspension and everything under it. So I told him, if you ever wanted to sell it, give me a call. And he said, well, I've got lots of nephews that are dying to have it. So that was in '87. And in 1999, he called up and said, you still interested in that car? He got sick, and he had never done another thing with it in all the years. Anyway, I ended up calling him and saying, yeah, okay, I'll come down and look at it and maybe we'll buy it. I said, but what about your nephews that wanted it? He said, yeah, they all want it, but they don't want to pay any for it. They just want me to give it to them.
Like a lot of cars of this vintage, some assembly was required. In the case of this 1933 Chevy, Bob tells us a lot of assembly was required. And not only assembly, but custom fabrications.
It was in a basket. There was nothing together. The only thing that was together was the frame. And the body was sitting on it, wasn't attached or nothing, and there were probably 100 baskets of stuff. So we bought it.
Restoration of this 1933 Chevy was a long and involved process, and as with most restorations, nothing came easy.
It took 9 years to restore the car. Body, of course, was off the frame. We bolted it down to take it home on a trailer, and took the body off, took all the wood out of it, because they're all wood. Put a whole new steel floor, and the doors, and the trunk, and the whole works. I had to make a lot of stuff for it because I couldn't buy it, because there are lots and lots of Fords around, but not very many Chevs. Running boards, and I had to make everything.
While he was at it, Bob added a lot of upgrades to bring this classic hot rod into the 21st century. And he did practically all of the work by himself.
Well, I've got a tilt steering, I've got delay wipers. Well, of course, they never had any of that. I got power windows, I've got remote control door openers, I got an automatic trunk opener. Of course, we've got I put a Mustang 2 suspension in it, front suspension. It's got rack and pinion power steering.
And it looks like it's got all new gauges.
These are all new gauges, yep, VDO gauges. The dashboard, of course, is original, except I put in the turn signals and the bright light indicator. I have a 305. It's out of a 1980 Chevy Blazer, and I completely rebuilt it and put high compression pistons in it and poured it and polished the heads. And I got a new Edelbrock carburetor on there, and I just put a mild cam in it so I could make it to every other gas station. And it's got a 350 transmission, 3-speed transmission in it. And it's got a Chevelle 373 gear rear end.
This Chevy is no Sunday driver. Bob and Jan travel with this car as much as possible.
We put 3,000 miles on this car this summer. We drive it. So we'll take it, we'll drive it 200-300 miles. Not even think twice about it. This thing will run down 401 at 80 miles an hour just as comfortable as anything.
Nothing has been left undone. It drives like a new car, but with a classic look that's hard to beat.
Well, basically, yeah, everything front to back is brand new. The headlights are off a Peterbilt truck.
Owning a vintage car conjures up childhood memories of our younger years. A simpler time before computers and high-tech gadgetry. An era of sock hops and rockin' to the Big 8. And the sheer enjoyment of being young.
What I loved about these cars is when we were kids, these were the cars they were all racing that checker flag. And that was a hot rod to me, for my age bracket, right? And that was a hot rod. These 30s and 40 cars, that's the epitome of hot rod. And I love these body styles.
Bob says he and Jan are going to enjoy this beautiful 33 Chevy 5-window coupe for a lot more years to come.
Yeah, this one is a keeper. I got 9 years of hard work in this car.
What a car. Our thanks to Bob and Jan for not only preserving but enhancing this golden classic. It may be cold out now, but spring isn't that far away. Have a safe winter. Can't wait for another season of hanging out and having fun at the car shows and the cruise nights.